My husband and I have been having a long struggle with infertility. We've been getting treated and trying for a baby since 2017, but nothing worked. My husband is understandably devastated as he'd always wanted kids but never got the chance to be a father. He's super sensitive about the infertility topic. This my family knows. Days ago we got together with family for dinner. All of a sudden my sister and her husband announced that they were expecting. We were stunned, me and my husband I mean. As for the others, they were thrilled. As everyone congratulated them, my husband got up, pushed his chair to the side and walked out. They all stared at me, but I got up and told my sister she messed up by announcing her pregnancy like this and with zero consideration for my husband, knowing how he felt about this topic. She got defensive, saying his issues with the topic weren't her problem and that she and her husband were fed up walking on eggshells around him. I called her selfish and cruel, but she complained that he ruined their joy and that I made it worse by making a scene. I told her she shouldn't have chosen my parents' house, but she said I have no place to dictate what she does in our parents' house. So my mom asked me to go home and I went. It's been horrible. My parents think I've reacted poorly and should apologize to my sister on both my husband's and my behalf after the scene we made at their home. So, am I the idiot for calling my sister selfish? You are the idiot. What exactly would you consider an appropriate way for her to announce her pregnancy? Or did you expect her to keep it a secret until the child was born, until it was old enough to graduate? For the rest of their lives? And what happens when the baby shows up? Will bringing the baby around be rubbing it in your face too? I'm sorry for your infertility issues, however you don't get to take happiness away from other people because of it. OP mentions that the sister said that she and her husband are tired of walking on eggshells around this issue, which has been going on for the last 5 years. I get the feeling that the husband is hypersensitive about being infertile, which is why he immediately walked out of the house. I think the sister feels like she's been very patient and walked on eggshells for so long and that they could finally, after 5 years, be pregnant without having to hide it. I also like how OP says her sister shouldn't have chosen my parents' house when it is also the sister's parents' house. Why wouldn't you announce your pregnancy at your parents' dinner table? She probably expected her not to have children to keep things fair. Honestly, there would not have been a good time for OP or her husband. What they did was selfish. They turned what was supposed to be the sister's happiest time and turned it to something about them. OP, you are fantastically self-centered. Your parents were right in asking you to leave. Dude, that is just not what I get from this at all. A private heads up or doing it when they're not there would have been more considerate. It blindsided them, as anyone could have predicted. The sister should have given OP advance notice. That would have been the kind thing to do. I think that's fair enough and gives everyone space to manage their feelings. The couple struggling with fertility won't get a bomb dropped in their lap and expected to hold their feelings while with company, and the expecting couple still gets to have their announcement. I agree, it takes nothing to be kind. For example, when I was struggling with fertility and was going to a party my sister was hosting, she told me beforehand that her super pregnant friend would be there. I didn't care, but I appreciated the heads up to decide if I wanted to come. I think it's everyone's the idiot here. OP sucks for ruining their sister's happy moment, and she sucks for not taking OP's and her husband's situation into account while still getting to have their moment. So I will begin by saying that I, female 28, am on the spectrum. I don't really like children and I definitely do not plan on having any. I own my own house and I allow my parents to live in my basement. It's a fully developed suite, not a dungeon. I have an office in my home and I keep boxes of brand new Legos in my office. Building the kits helps me relax. Afterward, I keep the minifigs and I donate the pieces and plans to a woman's shelter so the kids have something to play with. My brother, his wife and my niece and nephew have come for a visit, and my parents asked me to let them stay with me upstairs so they weren't so crowded. So I said that my brother and sister-in-law could, but that the kids should stay downstairs. My office has shelves full of minifigs just lined up doing their own thing. No rhyme or reason to it. I call it controlled chaos. It's the only thing I let be disordered in my living area. My brother knew I had Legos in my office and asked if his kids could play with them because they were bored. I said no. It would drive me nuts if I went to build a set and any piece was missing. I came home on Sunday from my weekly grocery shop and noticed several of my sets were missing. So I called my parents and asked them what had happened. They said my brother had taken a couple of sets for his kids since they're just toys. I was upset that he'd gone into my office and against what I said and taken my things. I usually give my niece and nephew nice gifts when they visit. For their birthdays this year, I gave each one a Switch. So the family was leaving today and my brother was waiting for me to give them a gift. I gave them each the sets of Legos that they'd opened and played with. The kids seemed happy. My brother was upset because my mom had already told me I'd gotten them a PS5. I found a bundle on sale and picked it up. I'm keeping it for myself. He asked me if there was any other gift and I said no. He'd already taken their gifts from my office and now he's upset because his kids didn't get something I'd purchased for them. He said that I was punishing them for him taking my toys for them to play with and that I'm a cheap and spiteful witch. I think his kids got a couple of $100 worth of toys and that's a pretty good gift, especially since he stole them. Not the idiot, you did nothing wrong and it was a good idea just to give the kids the Legos their father stole from you. Legos are costly. Personally, I wouldn't allow your brother into your house again and tell your parents to stay out of things. They should never have told your brother about the PS5. He's entitled. It's his job to bring toys for his kids so they don't get bored. Hopefully your brother learned his lesson and respects your home. The only lesson those kids learned is that if you want anything from Auntie's house, just take it and she will gift it to you later. You should get a lock for the door and put everything you value there when they come and maybe purchase some cheap toys for the kids, since the parents don't bring anything and grandparents don't care enough. Honestly, I think your brother was looking forward to using the PS5 himself. No way he's upset because his kids didn't get it. And the fact that he insulted you after invading your privacy and overstepping your boundaries inside your own home as a guest makes them a giant idiot. They would never be welcome back into my home, and your parents need to respect your space as well. I, female 28, have a younger sister Jodie, female 23. So Jodie is a single mom, she has a daughter, young child. I frequently help her out by picking up my niece from school and babysitting for a few hours for free so that Jodie can work. Jodie lives with our parents and her boyfriend, 26, who she's been seeing for a couple of months. In early October at one point, Jodie accused me of using the family's computer in our parents' home to go on gambling websites and signing up with our mom's debit card while I was babysitting. I told Jodie that was not true and asked her why on earth she would think that. Jodie explained that money was disappearing from our mom's bank account and that she checked the computer's browser history and that gambling websites came up. To be honest, I was kind of offended that Jodie would think I would do something like that. I've never had a gambling problem and I've never stolen from anyone. I told Jodie that that was awful but that it wasn't me who did it. She didn't believe me and went and told a load of our extended family that I was apparently stealing our mom's money to go on gambling websites, and now they all think I'm a horrible person and many of them have blocked me on Facebook. Anyway, the next week Jodie got back in touch with me. She said that she found a gambling website on her boyfriend's phone and connected the dots, and he admitted that he was stealing our mom's money and going on gambling websites. However, Jodie refused to apologize for jumping to conclusions and ruining my reputation with our extended family. Sure, I never speak to them anyway, but it's still a terrible reputation to have, especially when it's undeserved. Jodie said it's my fault because I acted guilty and said I got too defensive when she accused me. Later in October was Jodie's birthday, and she had a big party with our extended family. I decided to give Jodie her gifts a couple of days before, but refused to go to the party. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to deal with all the questions and judgment, and I was still furious at Jodie for not even apologizing for what she did. My parents are understanding, but Jodie said I was an idiot for not attending her party and that if I was going to be that way, then I shouldn't bother being a part of the family, and accused me of being petty. Not the idiot. Although giving her presents and not demanding that she set the record straight or that your parents do, you're doing yourself a disservice. She takes you for granted, is unapologetic and doesn't have to face any consequences for her actions from anyone. Is she the golden child in your family? If Jodie and her boyfriend are still together and part of the family, then everyone but you is an idiot. They are still together, but her boyfriend is now in therapy and attending gambling addiction support groups. I would divorce my husband without hesitation if he stole from my parents like that, but I suppose it's a step in the right direction. She's still with this loser? Well, that's why she won't clear your name. People would naturally ask who the thief was, and she doesn't want to have to admit it was her current boyfriend. So why would you buy her gifts? Why didn't your parents kick him out? Jodie, oh Jodie, can I please continue to be your free babysitter, punching bag, and provider of gifts while you crap all over me? Grow a backbone, OP, hot damn. Yeah, OP is an idiot to herself. Pretty clearly, it will be a cold day in the bad place and OP would be standing outside the house, afraid to open the door. OP, you have to be the person who saves yourself. We can't do it for you. Quit rolling over and taking it, OP. Demand to tell everyone that she was wrong to accuse you, she was stupid for jumping to conclusions, and she is sorry for dragging your name through the mud. And stop giving her presents until she womans up and eats her crow. Jeez. My girlfriend, 23, and I, 26 male, rent a place from her family. Said place has a swimming pool. We have a toddler daughter. My brother and his girlfriend are visiting, 30 and 32. My girlfriend likes to swim in the morning from about 6 to 6:30, and then for another 10 or 15 minutes she swims with our daughter because it's a good bonding experience and exercise for both of them. We've never had any complaints from neighbours. My girlfriend isn't loud, but our daughter can be. Not every morning and as much noise as you'd expect from a toddler. My brother's girlfriend asked if we'd stop this for just while they're staying due to noise and the fact she's a light sleeper. Plus, my girlfriend spends every Sunday in the pool. She and my brother don't feel comfortable being around her in her swimming costume, but then said, but the noise and not being able to sleep are important. She did ask very nicely. I joked, at least she's wearing a swimming costume while you're here. But I did ask my girlfriend because I know my brother's girlfriend has complained about her sleeping problems for a while. But my girlfriend says it's a perfectly reasonable time, citing that she's silent till 6:30 and it's her house and neighbours complain. But I think it's an easy request to maybe change it from 6:30 to 7 or something. Well, she's upset with me and things are tense, but I knew had I not asked, things would be awkward with the family over such a simple thing. My girlfriend's very athletic, but in all honesty, I can't see that being a problem because 1. She wears a one-piece and 2. My brother's girlfriend won't even work out because she's worried she'll get muscles. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Your brother is visiting your girlfriend's family's place. Your girlfriend swims daily on her own and then with your daughter. Your daughter's up early anyway, right? She's a little kid. Have you ever messed with the toddler's schedule? Also, your brother and his girlfriend are staying for a month or 2. Yeah, no, they can pound sand. Buy earplugs for them, or there's likely a nearby hotel they can go to. If they can't deal with that half hour you think is no big deal, why should your girlfriend? The real reason was due to girlfriend's swimming costume. If they just asked her to swim a bit later so as not to wake them, then maybe it would have been nice to accommodate them. But since they just aren't comfortable around her in her swimming costume, they can go stay somewhere else if it bothers them. Also, why do they care about the swimsuit? It's like going to the beach and saying I feel uncomfortable because people wear swimsuits. She is in her pool in a swimsuit. It's the most normal thing ever, and they make it weird. How dare you wear a swimsuit while I sleep? You better not shower naked while I'm in your house either. Agreed. Why do they care when they're supposed to be sleeping? That's my question. What are they doing, waking up and going outside to watch? No, wake up, get ready, stay indoors until she's done swimming. The girlfriend probably caught the brother watching OP's girlfriend in the pool, so they came as a united front to confront the issue when the bro's girlfriend is probably just insecure. You're visiting, sir, ma'am. If it's that much of an issue, take your butt back home instead of messing up my child's routine. OP, tell this woman that the world doesn't revolve around her. I, 28 male, am currently planning a wedding for this spring. My fiancé and I are keeping it relatively small with around 30 or 40 people. My parents got divorced a couple of years ago and my dad married rather quickly to Jen. Jen is a lot younger than my parents, 32 I think, and absolutely gorgeous, and this bothers my mom quite a bit. I get that it's a big age gap, but I figure she's an adult who can make her own decisions, and they seem happy together, so whatever. She's always been super nice to my fiancé and me, so I have nothing against her. My parents' divorce was a little messy with my dad initiating it. My mom will still make digs at my dad, but he just doesn't talk about her, or if he does, he only says positive things. Well, when going over the guest list with my mother, she had a bunch of family friends she asked if I was inviting. I told her no because those are people I don't consider myself close to. And my fiancé and I want it to be small, immediate family, some cousins and good friends. She asked if Jen was getting an invite and I told her of course. She's my dad's wife and we have a good relationship, so yes, she will be there. My mom freaked out. She said these family friends have been in my life way longer than Jen and I'm choosing a gold digger My father would be considered wealthy by most people over these people. I told her I was allowing my father to bring a +1, and I would never have considered inviting my mother's friends, again because I'm not close to them. She then said she's still determining if she'll go to the wedding if Jen's there. Not wanting to deal with this, I told her that it saddens me, but to make up her mind by January, as that's when we need a number for the venue. She then told me I was choosing Jen over my mother. I don't feel that way, but my older sister, Jen's age, also doesn't love the whole situation and is saying I should uninvite Jen. Am I the idiot for keeping Jen on the list? Personally, I think Jen is awesome and would love to celebrate with her, but I think the whole thing is dumb. Not the idiot, but can you put yourself in your mom's shoes? She clearly doesn't have a +1. Instead, her ex is bringing his hot young wife, who's barely older than his daughter. And as a final insult, now she knows she doesn't even have her close family friends who she's known for years and can support her, coming to this ceremony. OP, I'd find room for another couple, ask your mom to choose which one and make her happy, all for just an extra person or two. Question: do you know if your dad was having an affair with Jen? Based on your post, the timeliness seems tight. Before having this as your hill to die on, I'd make sure you know the story there. Talk to your sister and see what she knows. If there was an affair, consider it too soon to put your mother through having to play nice, and Dad can deal with leaving Jen at home. Honestly, even if there wasn't an affair, I get why your mom is upset at having to deal with your father's new bride. Your dad dumped her and got remarried right away. Have you ever had a girlfriend dump you and then have a boyfriend 2 days later? Well, imagine that pain only after 20+ years and kids together. Imagine what you would feel if your fiancé did that to you in 20+ years and your kid was basically, "The new wife is nice, so what's the problem, Mom?" Consider inviting 1 or 2 of her friends so she has some additional support. Could you give her a +1 or a +2? You don't want her to be the cheese standing alone. That would be miserable for her and tarnish the memory of the wedding. Imagine if your fiancé did that to you in 20+ years and then started dating a person your kid's age. I mean, OP already thinks stepmom is gorgeous. Apple might not fall far from the tree someday. OP, do you have any super good-looking guy friends your own age who would be willing to go as your mom's date? It might solve all your problems.